Hello and welcome to all our viewers in Nigeria and around the world to Midday News on Global Television. Coming to you live from the nation's capital, Abuja, I am Jumai Manson. A quick reminder that Global Television is on DSTV channel 365 and Star Times channel 276. You can download the Global TV Nigeria mobile app for Android and iOS devices to keep track of our broadcast. Now the news in full. President Bola Tinubu has reaffirmed his administration's dedication to democratic governance as Nigeria marks 26 years of uninterrupted civilian rule. Speaking at a joint session of the National Assembly, the president hailed June 12 as a symbol of national resilience and justice. He also honored Chief Moshood Abiola and other pro-democracy heroes while dismissing fears of one-party state, assuring Nigerians of a thriving multi-party system. Over now to Queen Agaba's report.
At this point, I plead for your indulgence so that I may put a terrible rumor to bed. To those who ring the alarm that the APC is intent on a one-party state, I offer you a most personal promise. While your alarm may be as a result of your panic, it rings an error. At no time in the past, nor any instance in the present, and at no future junction, shall I view the notion of one-party state as good for Nigeria.
The president emphasized youth empowerment, digital infrastructure, and industrial growth as key priorities and praised the National Assembly and Armed Forces for their continued support, while calling on all Nigerians to uphold the core values of June 12, freedom, equity, and accountability as the country charts a course towards progress.
Our administration is fully committed to boosting the economy and productive base through investment in critical infrastructure, roads, expansion of port operations, rail, and power. We are creating a new environment in which industry and manufacturing can thrive.
The President of the Senate, in his remarks, framed the event as a symbol of national unity, institutional synergies, and constitutional development, while affirming executive and legislative collaboration.
President of the Senate, I reaffirm the unwavering commitment of the 10th National Assembly to the cause of the Nigerian people. We must continue to champion every policy that uplifts the poor, empowers our youth, strengthens our economy, and defend the dignity of every citizen of this nation.
Emphasizing inclusive democracy, the Speaker of the House of Reps, Tajuddin Abbas, says the National Assembly has served as the guardian of our democratic institutions, while spotlighting active citizen engagement and a robust legislative agenda aligned with economic, constitutional, and participatory reforms.
Our determination is unequivocal to expedite and finalize the constitutional amendment process by December 2025. Some of our priorities include special reserved seats for women, formal constitutional roles for traditional rulers, and legal backing for a 35% affirmative action gender policy.
As Nigeria celebrates 26 years of democracy, President Tinubu's commitment to democratic governance and development is a promising step forward. For Global Television, Queen Agaba reporting.
The Senior Special Assistant to the President on Student Engagement, Sunday Adedayo, says this is the first time Nigerian tertiary institutions are experiencing an uninterrupted academic calendar in the last 2 years. Speaking during a solidarity walk organized by the National Association of Polytechnic Students and NAPS on Democracy Day, Adedayo commended Nigerian students for embarking on a solidarity walk to mark the day. Global TV correspondent Ramsin Enoch Agbo reports.
The Senior Special Advisor to President Bola Tinubu, Sunday Adebayo, doing the special solidarity work by the National Association of Polytechnic Students, NAPS, to mark Democracy Day, appreciated the leadership of NAPS for coming out to say thank you to President Tinubu's leadership.
I commend the leadership of Nigerian students in this country. Like they have said, this is the first time that 2 years uninterrupted academic calendar in the Nigeria that we grew up, where your 4-year course turned to 7 years. I thank Nigerian students for coming out to say thank you to Mr. President. And I'm sure this is just an Oliver Twist. Appreciating the president is another way for them to be asking more from the president. And I know he's their father. He has the listening here. He will definitely listen to their yearnings.
The President, National Association of Polytechnic Students, Paul Oganya, who spearheaded the solidarity work, said the work was to let Nigerians know that this is the first administration to invest so much in Nigerian students.
It is worthy to note that since the inception of democracy, he is the president that has invested much in education. That is why we are gathered here today in this program organized by the National Association of Polytechnic Students to say Adupe Mugode, Mr. President, for what you have done for us. The budgetary allocation to the educational sector this year is very, very, very enormous, and we are proud of him. His investment in TVET, his investment in Telford, his investment in the Nigeria Education Law for which is NELFORD. It is very, very, very pleasant to us. Today, the Nigerian students do not have a reason to say we can no longer go to school, or we don't have a sponsor who will sponsor us to the school.
President, National Association of Nigerian Students, Olushola Oladoja, who also participated in the work, says it is the first time Nigerian students are getting loans and monthly stipends from government to enable them go through school.
This is democracy, 26 years ago of democracy. This is the first time that we are having the highest budget in education. And this is the first time again that we are having an establishment of student loan, NELFORD. And that have drastically reduced the dropout of students from campuses because of school fees. Because the NELFORD, all what you need to do is just to be a Nigerian and also have matric number of a school to apply for NELFORD. They are not only paying the tuition fee, they are also giving a monthly stipend to the student for them to enable them get something to eat, transport to schools, and it's a wonderful thing that we've never experienced in this country before.
The national president, Niger Delta Student Union government, Keme Romeo, joined his voice to that of other student leaders to thank the president, especially for the pipeline security contracts to secure the pipelines safe at the Niger Delta.
In the Niger Delta, we see a lot of things President Bola Ahmed Tinubu has done for, especially in terms of the oil and gas pipeline security contract he gave to our boss, Chief Government Ibumpolo, aka Tompolo, through the Tantita Security Services Limited. It is something that has lifted a lot of students and youth in the Niger Delta, something that has empowered a lot of us. So it is better if they are doing a work like this. It is still proper that we come to learn our voice. That's why we travel all the way to come and show solidarity to Mr. President today.
Ramsey Enoch Agbo reporting for Global TV News.
As Nigeria observes Democracy Day, a day set aside to reflect on the country's journey under civilian rule, questions continue to arise about the true impact of democracy on everyday Nigerians. 26 years after the return to democratic governance in 1999, how are citizens feeling about the state of the nation? Our correspondent, Amarachi Ibe, reports all the way from Owerri. Her report.
Democracy Day, now marked on June 12, commemorates the historic 1993 presidential election, widely regarded as Nigeria's freest and fairest, and honors the struggle for democratic governance. While the government celebrates milestones, many residents here says democracy is here to deliver meaningful change in their lives.
Since the 25 years of democracy in this country, there have been no impartation. Life still remains stagnant. People are suffering. you can see how everywhere looks like. Insecurity, so many things not to mention.
For some, democracy is a simple word, not a lived reality.
But for 25 years, the trouble we have in Nigeria is that the real people, the masses, are not being carried along. What do I mean? The things that are supposed to get to the masses, the poor people, are not getting to them. The bourgeois, the capitalists, the rich, the mighty, they hang it on the up. The thing doesn't get down. So, and that is the challenge you have. Democracy is democracy if the people who are supposed to benefit are benefiting.
So democracy, they were supposed to be happy, but the way economy is affecting everybody. This fuel subsidy, our president should listen to the masses and try to bring it down. Let him bring the fuel subsidy down. Let him help the masses. We are suffering. We are suffering in the country. That's all I will say for now.
Others agree that democratic rule is better than military rule, but says progress has been too slow and often unfair.
Stop fooling ourselves. There is nothing like democracy in this place. Nigeria as a whole, there is nothing like democracy. Let me just tell you the truth. So I don't have anything to say other than to say there is nothing like democracy. Them themselves, they know the truth. There is nothing like democracy. If they say there is democracy, left for them. But for me, there is no democracy.
As Nigeria continues on this democratic journey, the hope of the people remains unchanged. Good governance, accountability, and a country that works for everyone. Happy Democracy Day, Nigerians. From Owerri, Amarachi Ibe, reporting for Global TV News.
Thank you, Marachi, for that report. Now, June 12th of every year is now observed as a Nigerian's Democracy Day to remember the successes of the nation's democratic practice. In Kano State, no celebration was held as residents were seen going about their daily business, even though the day is declared as a public holiday. Global TV correspondent Idris Jibrin, who went around Kano metropolis, now reports.
June 12 was first observed as Democracy Day during the last administration of former President Muhammadu Buhari. It is meant to celebrate Nigeria's Democracy Day and to also honor the struggle made by late Abiola following the annulment of June 12 elections by the military administration of General Babangida. In Kano, no celebration was held to mark the day because, according to them, there is nothing to celebrate considering the persistent economic hardship across the country. Nigeria has now enjoyed more than 20 years of uninterrupted democracy, but for some Kano residents, there seems to be little or no achievement, especially on areas of education, health, and economic development, as well as widespread insecurity across the country. Many Nigerians residing in Kano believes that there is nothing to celebrate even on June 12 Democracy Day. However, there are others who argued that having over 20 years of uninterrupted democracy is actually something to celebrate across the country. But generally, people are saying that the quality of education is very poor, infrastructures are very poor, and then there is widespread insecurity, especially in many parts of northern Nigeria. But be that as it may, Nigeria has something to celebrate on the June 12 Democracy Day. From Kano, Idris Jibrin reporting for Global Television News.
The lawmaker representing Edo North, Senator Adams Oshomole, has denied all allegations that he disrupted Air Peace operations after missing a flight, asserting that he stood against alleged systematic extortion and poor customer service by the airline. Oshomole, a former governor of Edo State, addressed journalists on the issue in Abuja. Here is Ramsey Enoch Agbo's report.
Then the manager came up, Your Excellency, sir, how are you? I said, I'm not fine. Okay, don't worry, I will sort you out. Because I said, no. Anything you want to do it for everyone. Because how will you sort me out? Even those I met there, who came before me, you are asking them to pay more money. Even for the next flight, well, they told me they have another flight for 8:30. So, if I want to be typical person, Nigeria big man, my face alone is identity. They sort quote. I said, don't sort me out. Don't extend any courtesy to me. Don't extend any privilege to me. Just enforce my right. And if enforcing right means I'm causing trouble, I will want to cause trouble forever.
The lawmaker representing Edo North, Senator Adams Oshomole, explained that he arrived on time, had checked in online and was denied boarding, while the airline sold tickets on the spot at inflated prices, disadvantaging passengers who booked earlier at lower rates. Oshomole highlighted cases where passengers, including a woman with a baby, were refused boarding despite the plane still being on the ground, while others bought tickets at much higher prices. He refused preferential treatment, insisting that his rights and those of ordinary Nigerians be respected equally, and intervened only when stranded passengers began to protest.
They informed him at 5 a.m. that the check-in will close at 45 minutes before departure, no longer 30 minutes. So I asked the regulator, NACA, is the airline at liberty to change the terms of the contract 1 hour before execution? Because if the flight was meant for 6:30, and checking in to close by 6 o'clock, and you are sending notices out by 5 o'clock, that's 1 hour. You are changing the contract. How can people reorganize their travels? Even if they have chopper that they can overcome traffic. So it's just not right.
What did they ask you to pay?
Look at the time I called Angela. 0557. I
was here, I saw you. How much more did they ask you to pay?
No, for me to enter the second flight, I'm going to pay almost 100 and something thousand. Almost 100 and something thousand for me to enter the second flight. And I was here 6:06. I was here, some people were checking in and they said that they could check in because they checked in online. Online, the network was so battery that they thought I was not opening for you to check in online. I told them, this baby had been sitting and for me to show you the dirty clothes. I couldn't even do anything. Since 5 a.m. she has been stealing and vomiting. Well, she said I can go to the hospital.
Air Peace, on the other hand, accused Oshomole of arriving late for the flight and engaging in violent and destructive behavior, including physically assaulting staff and barricading the terminal entrance, which obstructed other passenger operations. The airline maintained that boarding had closed in line with their policy and expressed regret over the senator's conduct, emphasizing their commitment to safety, discipline and respect for due process. Ramsey Enoch Agbo reporting for Global TV News.
The Minister of Tourism, Art, Culture and Creative Economy, Hannatu Musawa, says there will be an intellectual property protection put in place to protect Nigerian creatives. While speaking during a panel session at the 68th UN Tourism Commission for Africa with the theme Boosting Social Impact and Education in Tourism Through Innovation, AI and Creative Industries in Africa, Musawa said the ministry has initiated policies on intellectual property, including creative economy and cultural policies, according to a statement. She also noted that the administration of President Bola Ahmed Tinubu is working hard to ensure that Nigeria becomes the world's #1 tourism destination. You are watching the live broadcast of Midday News. When Midday News returns, federal government to revoke dormant oil licenses with new policy. Details coming shortly, plus foreign and sports stories on the other side of this break. Please stay with us. You are welcome back, and if you're just tuning in, this is Midday News on Global Television. Thank you for staying with us. In Business Now, the Minister of Works, David Umahi, says those criticizing him over LMS section of the East-West Road in Rivers State, we currently commissioned, are faceless, Engineer Umai says same section of the road was awarded for 156 billion naira by the past administration, but that work on the project never started. The minister stated complete reconstruction work on the road began when President Bola Tinubu came to office and gave approval for work to commence immediately, saying the president deserves commendation for that show of courage. The Nigerian Upstream Petroleum Regulatory Commission has told oil producers that it is set to implement the drill or drop policy. The chief executive of the commission, Gbenga Komolafe, disclosed this when he received a delegation from the Independent Petroleum Producers Group at the commission's headquarters in Abuja recently. A statement by the commission says Komolafe emphasized that oil and gas producers must either begin production within a specified time frame or relinquish their licenses. He stated that the policy aimed to rejuvenate the oil sector, ensure optimal use of assets, and boost government revenue. Over now to sports news now. Israel's military says Iran has fired about 100 drones towards its territory, many of which were intercepted after Israel carried out waves of strikes on Iran overnight. The Israel Defense Force says it carried out strikes on nuclear sites, noting that Revolutionary Guard Chief Hussein Salami and other commanders have been killed. Iran, however, stated that 6 scientists have been killed, with reports that civilians, including children, are among the dead. In the meantime, German Chancellor Friedrich Merz has urged both Israel and Iran to avoid any further escalation about Israel launched a wave of strike on the Islamic Republic. Merz also said he had been briefed by Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu about the raids and had convened a meeting of Germany's security cabinet. In sports stories now, 12 Nigerian fencers have begun camping ahead of the 2025 African Fencing Championship, which will be hosted in Lagos from June 25th to 29th. Nigeria's 12-member team for the tournament are training at the Lagos Fencing Club in Lekki under the guidance of an Italian coach, Riccardo Bardin. Bardin's appointment forms part of a strategic 4-year partnership between the Nigerian Fencing Federation and the Italian Fencing Federation, aimed at accelerating the sport's development in Nigeria through technical support and knowledge exchange. World record holder in the women's 100-meter hurdles, Toby Amerson, will be missing when the 7th installment of the 2025 Diamond League makes the scheduled stop in the city of Stockholm, Sweden on Sunday. The 28-year-old, who recently emerged as the winner of the event during the 4th leg of the Diamond League, met in Rabat, Morocco, will not be involved in her favorite discipline after her name was not featured among other athletes in the official start list released for the race. The event, which will be held at the Stockholm Olympic Stadium, will see an array of stars compete on both track and field disciplines as they continue preparations ahead of the World Athletics Championship set to be held in Tokyo, Japan in September. Now that's it on Global TV Midday News. A quick reminder that Global TV is on DSTV channel 365 and Star Times channel 276. Kindly follow us across all social media platforms now showing on your screen by using @Global TV NG. You can download the Global TV Nigeria mobile app for Android and iOS devices to keep track of our broadcast. I am Jumai Manson. Thank you for watching. Good afternoon.